already know what time it is. It's your boy DJ RichieSkye back with some tea, interviews, recaps, and more. And be sure to check the links in the description of this video for trips, for books, one-on-one sessions, and more. Now let's get into the tea. All right, y'all, we are back in the building. Happy Saturday to everyone out there. I hope that you are having an amazing Saturday. I hope that it is blessed and highly favored, okay? We got to talk a little bit about some of the news that's going on in the world of reality TV. So if you are interested in that, you are in the right place at the right time with the right people, okay? So make sure you guys click that like button and hit the subscribe button if you haven't already done so. And now let's get into the biz naive. Kenya Moore has taken to the interwebs to let us know her thoughts on the Real Housewives of Atlanta season 16 reunion. Not only that, but we also know that she is going to be filming, or at least has in an upcoming episode, some tea about some of her previous reunions, and I think maybe even some tea about this current reunion. She does go into a little bit of behind the scenes about how the reunion is sort of constructed in terms of how the ladies are given advance notice about what the theme will be. You know, she's gotten this information, I guess, maybe from some of the ladies. She does go on to state that she is in a good place with the ladies. She loves the ladies. She loves the ladies. Okay. She makes that very clear at the onset. And similar to a lot of us who are, who do commentary on reality TV, we give our opinions about these things. And, what she asks is that you don't call her a hater because she may not like the gown. And we online who give our opinions about these things get a lot of that, right? Oh my God, you're hating, you're hating, you're hating. And it's like, we're talking about an outfit. Like, get over it. Like, come on. So I thought it was very interesting. She went live to do this. The video is racking up the views. And I think that just my general opinion about Kenya Moore and her YouTube presence is that she should have been doing this a long time ago. I think that her YouTube channel allows the audience to get to know her on a more intimate level. And specifically for people that are really fans of Kenya Moore, we get sort of like this inside look into her life and how she thinks. And it's a lot more than what the show can actually ever provide. And I think that, again, for me, I actually welcome it because I think that it's how you can help build your brand. So that's my thoughts on it. I think she does a great job. So we have an episode of Life Twirls On to look forward to for those of you guys who are Kenya Moore fans. And if you want to just hear what she has to say, definitely check her out on her YouTube channel. Now, let's get into what she had to say about, Phaedra Parks. I mean, she rated all the reunion looks. And I must admit, okay, her opinions, in my opinion, were spot on. They were almost directly in line with some of the things that I had to say. I think maybe with the exception of Portia's look, who she said wasn't bad, but her top two looks were, of course, Angela and Shamia, which were also in my top three. They were number 2 and 3 for me. I put Portia as number 1. Now, for her, Portia, she said that Portia's look was very reminiscent to Phaedra's in terms of the bodice up here and then the skirt sort of thing kind of having a little bit of a different energy, right? She goes on to talk about Phaedra looking like a fairy. And she calls this look a hot, steaming mess. And she basically agrees with what most of the internet feels is that this is more along the lines of a costume. And, it's shocking to me because this doesn't seem like Phaedra. This seems very un-Phaedra to me. From what we've come to expect from the Southern Belle. I mean, sometimes I don't know. It just doesn't. In the reunion, as I was watching and I was looking at her to judge like comfort level, it didn't look uncomfortable for her. So, I mean, I think that there's that she had going for her, but I do think it is a little distracting. Luckily, she has 2 Amazon, like glamazon women beside her that are super tall that take up a lot of sort of screen space with their not only big energy, big hair, and glamorous outfits, but it kind of helped to take away from whatever was happening with Phaedra here. That really feels very unfortunate to me. But it was also very unfortunate to Kenya Moore, who calls this a hot steaming mess, and she talks about Phaedra's makeup looking amazing. So there was that. She also, has some of the same criticisms for Drew's outfit that we had with regards to the feathers. Even Cynthia's with regards to the simplicity and sort of looking like she was maybe headed out to brunch or a day at the beach versus a reunion. But overall, I mean, her number one pick was Shamia, and number two was Angela Oakley. So she also had some similar thoughts about Kelly's look, having too much material going on, too many things happening and fighting for attention. And I did think that Kenya Moore, I just felt like she was spot on with her assessments. It was good to see her live. And I think that the lives combined with, I think, recorded videos will be a good look for her. But let me know what you guys think in the comment section down below. Phaedra has been a hot topic of conversation for much of the week. And I'm not really, listen, she's a hot topic. We can't deny it. I mean, when you come to the reunion dressed like that, and then when you have, everything happening with the show with regards to the whole who did somebody pay for our mystery man to tell Angela about the Charles thing? It was all just so crazy. And it sounds like Phaedra is somehow allegedly at the center of it. So she does end up being a topic of conversation, whether you like it or not. Okay. So as such, in line with the conversation, she might as well continue it on by doing some interviews where she is talking about some hot topics. If you have ever watched Jason Lee come to us with an interview, the questions are going to be asked and they're going to be no holds barred. He's not going to hold back. And I mean, I low-key love it because it really, I mean, I think because if you go to Jason, you kind of have to know he's gonna ask you the questions. He's gonna go there. He's gonna get to the nitty gritty. And personally, I feel like Phaedra is sometimes known for not really getting to the nitty gritty when pressed about it. So this is going to be very interesting when it does come out on Sunday, I think at 4 p.m. on the Zeus network. Okay. I don't have the Zeus. So I'm wondering if maybe I need to subscribe so that I can really stay up on top of the news. But in this interview, she is asked about Apollo. She's asked about Drew. She's asked about Quad. Now, somebody in the comments says, I love Phaedra, but I hope she actually answers the questions, which is what I was saying. Okay. Somebody else in the comments said, I say and say again, Phaedra don't answer no questions. She just gonna do a lot of woo child. Lord have mercy. Don't get y'all hopes up. This is what the fans have come to expect from Phaedra. And it really has gotten kind of old. I personally love Phaedra. I think she's super entertaining, but this does tend to be a little bit of an issue for her, right? Is answering direct questions and really getting to the nitty gritty. So that's why this interview should be super interesting for me. Now, she goes on to talk about how Quad, she thought that they were friends, but maybe she didn't really know her that well. And to that, I say, maybe you did not. Okay. I don't know what happened with Phaedra and Quad with Married to Medicine, but it is one of those friendship fallouts that I feel like I wish that I could have been a fly on the wall to see how things really went down, from whether or not Phaedra did not want to fly with Quad down to the Napa when they had the trip with Toya. Um, what all happened? How did it go? How did it all really play out? From the time that Phaedra had Quad popping up out of the coffin to not wanting to, sit with her on the airplane to the Napa. Was it to the Napa? I can't even remember at this point. But y'all know, I mean, things just started to slowly fall apart between the two of them. and it turned nasty. She is asked about bedroom candy. I mean, listen, it goes there. It goes there. And right here, what you will see is basically a preview clip, right? So people do like clips of like the whole, like a montage of questions that helps you sort of draw in interest. I'm interested. I just want to let you guys know that it's happening, and it's happening on Saturday. So for those of you guys who don't have Zeus, you're interested in Phaedra Parks, you can find her there on Sunday. Sunday, tomorrow at 4 p.m. Okay. That will be before the episode of The Real Housewives of Atlanta, the season finale. It's going down. Okay. All right. So, last but not least, this is a story that I just happened to come upon, and I actually saw it last night. I don't know if you guys follow Zach Peters, but if you follow his No Filter with Zach Instagram channel page, you will find that he did a story about how NBC has revealed that the Real Housewives Ultimate Girls Trip Morocco season has 7 fully edited episodes ready to go. And this is amid Carolyn Manzo's pending lawsuit against them. For those of you guys who may not be in the know, this was, I mean, I think technically season 4 of Real Housewives Ultimate Girls Trip, I believe. And it featured Brandy Glanville, Phaedra Parks, yet again, the woman of the hour, Gretchen Rossi, who is now going to be appearing on The Real Housewives of OC as a friend back in the mix. It featured Vicky Gunvalson, another OC OG, as well as Eva Marcel. I think it was Camille Grammer and Carolyn Manzo and Brandy Glanville. I think that was it. Now, if something to note here is now there's the lawsuit that's going on between Carolyn Manzo and NBC, Universal, Bravo, the whole shebang, right? But it's not against Brandy Glanville. Now, there are some allegations of inappropriate behavior on behalf of Brandy Glanville towards Carolyn Manzo, but Brandy, for some reason, is not named in the lawsuit. Now, it's interesting to me that cast members like Gretchen and Vicky are fully in support of them airing the show, where it seems like Carolyn Manzo doesn't maybe want it to be aired. I don't know, right? That's the impression that I get. But there are so many claims to Carolyn's lawsuit that are just kind of astounding to me. Some of them include trafficking because the incident happened away from the United States in her home, and it's almost kind of like they took her to some place and this thing happened to her. There is allegations of, I think, like I guess I guess she's saying that she has anxiety, and because she filmed confessionals even after this whole thing happened, that she was forced to talk about it, and which increased her anxiety. She apparently also continued to film with the group after the incident in question happened, and that the network adhered to her request to not film when she found out that the ladies, after she expressed what happened or her feelings about what happened between her and Brandy, that the ladies then went to go visit Brandy because the network had put Brandy up at a different hotel. They never made Carolyn film, I guess, with Brandy again after the incident was brought to their attention, from what I'm understanding here. So it was at that point when the ladies went to go visit her at her hotel that Carolyn Manzo, again from the Real Housewives of New Jersey, for those of you guys who are unfamiliar, she, I guess, ultimately decided that she wasn't going to film after that, and they adhered to her demands. So this should be interesting because what Zach is surmising is basically that this could indeed actually come out if this case is settled, or if Caroline Manzo potentially loses this battle. But do you guys want to see Ultimate Girls Trip season 4 in Morocco? That's really the question that we have to ask ourselves. I personally want to see it because I'm interested and I want to know what happened. But, at the end of the day, this is something that Carolyn Manzo feels, happened to her. And, it would definitely give us some insight. And it also is kind of telling where the rest of the cast feels, because I think that the lawsuit takes into account how the cast responded to what they felt like happened versus also what Caroline is saying happened. And that should be very interesting to see how this all turns out. So let me know what you guys want to see. Let me know in the comment section down below. Make sure you guys keep it locked onto the channel if you haven't already done so. If you love reality TV related content, you want to have a good time, this is the channel for you. Hit that like button, hit that subscribe button, and of course, I will catch you in the next video.